Hello everyone, it's Quick Flash again. Just here to show you a little update on version 0.1.38. This version is essentially just merging in a few pull releases and other branches of the EmuFlight code, just merging a few of them together just in preparation for the release of version 0.2, which will be a full public release candidate release once that's released. Today I'm just going to show you kind of the new configurator, what's different, and show you how it is on my whoop versus a Helio flight control. I'll be using the Strix F10. So, start off in configuration. You should now see this slider here for cinematic yaw. If you don't know by now, cinematic yaw is a mode that messes with your FPV camera angle, and as long as you have your, as long as the quad's in either angle mode or horizon mode, and you have turned cinematic yaw on, and you've set FPV camera angle degrees to something that isn't 0, as well as you have enabled the FPV angle mix mode. If all of that's enabled while your cinematic yaw is turned on, as you pitch forward, it will change the way that your yaw and roll is mixed in a turn or any movement. And so this value here for the FPV camera angle, that just sets the maximum effect that it'll have. So if you set that to say 20, as soon as you went past 20 degrees, it wouldn't keep increasing that effect as you pitched forward more. The maximum you can set it is 90. So for little whoop flyers or cine-whoop guys, this is something that you all might really like. Aside from there, what we have up next is this PID tuning. Something fun that we've got is we have Emu Boost on yaw. Now, I wouldn't recommend this tune unless you're flying a whoop, so use these numbers with a grain of salt here. So yeah, I've got my Emu Boost on pitch and roll right here, and then this is Emu Boost just for yaw on this axis. And yeah, as you know, we split that up primarily just because we wanted to, well, it was me. I kind of just wanted to be able to play with that more on yaw, just with how yaw acts differently than all those other axes. Up next in here in the rate profile settings, we have SPA. It's kind of like TPA, but for your set point. So as you move your stick, well, not your set point, but your stick. So as you move your stick away from the middle, it will, if this value is above 100, say 150, it'll increase the value of your P, I, and D for pitch and roll. And then here for your yaw, as you move your stick more for yaw, it will then change things. So right here I have my SPA yaw P at 150. So at full stick deflection on yaw, I'm boosting my P term by, it's 1.5 times bigger than normal because of that 150. And then right here, my I term is decreasing down to 28% of what it normally would be. So you take your normal I term, multiply it by 0.28, and that's what your I term will be at full stick deflection if you're running this value. There's that. And then as well, we've got the new gyro dynamic filters. As you can see on my whoop, I don't actually run any of the normal low pass filters, just the D-term dynamic filter and gyro dynamic filter, both at 90 Hz with my IMUF filter settings like such. That covers most of what's new in the GUI as far as that goes. Oh, there's also the not fast enough racer mode. You can switch that on or off. For those of you who don't know what the not fast enough racer mode is this is just angle mode on roll. So your pitch is acro, roll has angle. And for me, since flying NFE racer mode, I can't fly a whoop in angle mode. I can only fly it in racer mode. It just feels so much better through those turns, because most of the time when you're flying around, you don't want to be holding your stick just to keep pitching forward. So instead of that, with this, you can hold your pitch angle really well, and when you do a turn, you're going to give it roll anyway, so it doesn't feel bad. For me, it makes it easier to fly inside. Really great mode. Big shout out to NFE for working on that in the past. Let me just refresh myself on the other things we added. Oh yeah, here we go. So this was something that was kind of already in the code before, but maybe the Butterflight devs didn't want it because it was like halfway coded in the code. Not really sure what that was all about, but if you type in here get vbat low pass filter period, this value here will give you your basically sets up a low pass filter over your battery voltage coming into your quad. What this will do is the higher number you run, the lower that the filter is going to be. Well, the higher number you run, the less filtering it's going to do, and so the more kind of direct your battery voltage will be. The old default was 10, Betaflight's default is 30. Before this piece of code, this vbat low pass filter period was already in the code, but changing it would do nothing. We just broke it out so that changing it would do something. Old default was 10, I moved it up to 15, so your battery voltage will jump around just a little bit more than it used to. If you run defaults, shouldn't be anything crazy. Betaflight defaults are 30, so if you want your battery voltage to jump up and down more like it does on Betaflight, run 30. You can also do the same thing with your, so this is ibat, so that I just stands for current. So this is your voltage, and this is your current, and so your current reader, it also has a low pass filter over it. And once again, a higher number will change it more. Betaflight's default is 30, I believe. The default that came from Butterflight was 40, so I've kept it at that value. So we've added that. Now here's another thing that was in the code but didn't work. Let me just find the command for it again. Pidsum limit, okay. So this pidsum limit is just basically the maximum value that it will allow your PIDs to be. And that's just basically to limit you from, say if you get into a bad crash or something, it limits your PIDs from just, going to infinity and going ridiculously high. So that's why we have this limit, and it's split into your pidsum limit and then your pidsum limit for yaw. This piece of code, get pidsum limit yaw, has always been in Butterflight. It's always been in EmuFlight, but before it did absolutely nothing, and your pidsum limit was just the same for both pitch and roll and yaw, but now it's just been split so that yaw acts a little different. If anyone's ever experienced any of those yaw to the moons where your quad just starts spinning out of control, this might help you out, because the pidsum limit for yaw is by default a bit lower than the pidsum limit for both pitch and roll. Yeah, and as you can see, your normal pidsum limit is maxed out at 1,000. I'm not sure what Betaflight's default is, but it's maxed out at 1,000. But the limit on yaw is now 400, so anyone that was having any of those issues before where it would just yaw to the moon after you clipped a gate or something, this little change is probably going to help out with that. And now I'm just going to show you kind of what the GUI is supposed to look like for a Helio style flight controller. I've got the Strix F10 here, courtesy of Ready Made RC. They are great, and if we go here, this new edition, our cinematic yaw, should still be there. go to PID tuning, Emu boost and Emu boost yaw is still right there. We got NFE, feathered PIDs, all that good stuff. Rate profiles SPA still right there. The only difference is here you don't get your gyrodynamic notch in here. We should still probably change it so that we don't get any of this gyro stuff here, because the stuff here isn't doing anything. You know, you set this to any value, it's not going to do anything on your Strix or your Helio flight controllers. It's just for show. I think if we save it, it might not even save. Save that. Let's see if that even saved. Now, if we do that, that's just a future fix. For now, we're just looking at, you know, getting version 0.2 out as a release candidate. And okay, as we see, it saves, but it's not going to do anything. So, something to be aware of. I will be going through and updating these presets in a while, just to reflect the new dynamic filter, because as you can see, if I change to any of these different presets, it changes all the filters except this dynamic D term. It should just set it to 0, as none of these presets have them working. The non-Helio presets will need to be changed more. I'll also need to add the Emu boost limits in there for yaw. For now, on these Helio setups, I will just set them exactly the same. So for Hitch's build, actually no change whatsoever. But yeah, if you want a preset, send us your juicy tunes. That's always something that we look forward to. And yeah, that's pretty much this update. Hopefully, if we don't find any bugs with any of this, then we should be good for a release. I'll just work on updating these presets, and if anyone knows how to build the configurator for a Mac computer, because as you can see right now, if I go here to bin tray, for whatever reason, the OS X, the Mac version, isn't building. So I'm thinking that the only one here that would know how to do that would be our good friend. Shoot, why can't I think of your name? Shoot, I feel dumb. My good friend Nerdcopter. There we go. Nerdcopter. So, yeah, I don't foresee any of this causing any problems, but I just need to go through, change some of these presets to reflect the new tuning parameters that are available. And yeah, thanks everyone for helping test, and I'm excited to see where version 0.2 is going to take us. Have a good one, everyone.